project 1,000 homes. Do you think you can own a home for 20,000 US dollars? Do you think you can own your own flat, your own home, be a landlord in 2025 for $20,000? We're talking about how we can own our own homes in Nigeria in 2025 for $20,000. How can you own a home in West Africa, Lagos, West Africa, Lagos, Nigeria, West Africa, Ogun, Nigeria, West Africa, which is in the outskirts of Lagos? That is our goal, $20,000. How can we own that home? What are the steps? Is it achievable or is it a pipe dream? Are we just joking and deceiving ourselves? Can I own my own house? Can I own my own apartment? Can I own my own flat? Excuse me, please. Can I own my own flat in 2025 for $20,000? 30 million to 35 million naira. Your own house delivered to you, and then from there you can begin to, move in. And you can stop worrying about expensive rent in Lagos. Or you can be a part of the expensive landlords of Lagos. But you now have your own home and you'll be doing that at your own pleasure. Please, let's add more people and let's talk about home ownership in 2025. This is our primary concern. Houses are expensive. House rent is outrageous. If a person is paying 5 million house rent every month, it means that every year. It means that in 5 years' time, in 6 years' time, you can be a owner of one of the kinds of houses we are talking about. A $20,000 home. A person who is renting a house for $2 million will be able to own that type of house in 15 years. However, because his income will keep on increasing, except things work in the contrary for that person, the person should be able to own that kind of house in maybe 10 years, 8 to 12 years perhaps. So we can own our own houses in 2025. Those of you who have mortgages, people are paying I know single people paying 3 million naira per year for rent. I know someone who is single and has paid 3 million per year for the last 2 years or 3 years. That kind of person, 9 million naira, that has already done some of this for him. I'm not supposed to show you this house, so I'll keep it from you. I'll keep it from you until you allow us. Gozie M, welcome. Hey, my brother, welcome. Thank you very much, Didi. You are welcome. You are welcome. Always welcome. We're always happy to have you. You have been a really, really great support. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You are welcome. So we're just trying to show workings, right? We're trying to show that, hey guys, we have the opportunity to own a home for $20,000 in Nigeria. How can we achieve a $20,000 home? I don't know why my screen is black, why my camera is black and white. Gozie M, you are welcome. Are you still here? I would give us the opportunity to speak at some point in future, but I'm adding you to the speakers, but I'll give us the opportunity to speak much later. I think Gozie is a builder, if I'm not mistaken. I think Gozie is a builder, and Mr. Toby, I think you have also been with us in the past. Thank you very much. You don't have to speak. You can keep your mic turned off. We have Rainyday Cooperative Society here. Please let's share the videos a bit more. Let's have a few of us join so that we can get into the business of today. Once it's 7:15, we'll get into the business of today immediately. Once it's 7:15, we'll start talking immediately. How can I own my house with $20,000 in 2025? That's what we're talking about. That is all we are talking about. How can you and I own our homes with $20,000 in 2025? That is all. That is the core mandate today. Adedayo Babadeji, if you're still here, thank you for joining. If you've left, no problem. We'll be happy to have you sometime in future. All right, it's almost 2 minutes left, and then we'll get into the talk. 2 minutes left. Atlantic King Terry, thank you for joining. Please double tap on your screen. Tap as much as you can. Tap, 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 like they say. Tap, 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 tap. Please do. Thank you, Atlantic Interior. Atlantic Interior. Thank you, Adebayo Babajide. Thank you for coming. Welcome. Thank you very much. So we'll be starting how first. So can we own a home? How much is an affordable home in Nigeria in 2025? What is the exchange rate? 15, almost 1,800 or 1,900 per year. Almost 1,800. Thank you, Omobolaji. You're welcome. Thank you for joining. 18, 20. What is the exchange rate today? Right? What is the exchange rate today? Can people own a home for 30 million naira? How many people on salaries have their own houses? These are the questions, and as I always say, these are the issues. Okay, 1,600, not 1,800. Okay, I usually work with 1,800, but thank God that means it's not as bad as we thought. So 1,005, 1,006. So let's work with 1,006. 1,006. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back and do the math. 1,600. Thank you, Omobolaji. You're welcome. Thank you, Omobolaji. You're welcome. So we're saying that 1,600 is our operating number, 1,600, and we multiply that by $20,000. How many people on salary are earning? How many people on salary are paying that type of house rent and they are unable to own their own houses? Many of them. 32 million naira. We are saying that for 32 million naira, a person can own their own property. For 32 million naira, a person can be their own landlord. Is it possible in Nigeria? It's 7:15. I'll get into the talk very briefly, and I'd like to hear all of us, because you guys, I'm here because of you. I'm here because of you. But please share. Please share on your WhatsApp. Share on your Instagram. Share the link in your WhatsApp family groups. You have people in Canada. You have people in UK. You have people even here in Nigeria. People that want to have their own houses. Share with them. Let's see how we can help them. Let's see how we can work together. Snag inspectors, the organization Snag Inspector works for, that is Rainyday Cooperative Society, and Space Cube Construction Limited. You can Google the companies. They are real companies, verified and all of that. Okay, you can just check it out, Space Cube Construction Limited. So let's go straight to the point. SpaceCubeAfrica.com. You can do that and you see all about that. So welcome. Thank you very much for the likes. Keep tapping. I appreciate this. So SpaceCubeAfrica.com. Again, I'm apologizing. My screen is black and white for some reason. I will try and improve that next time, but I don't want to terminate the live. Okay, so let's go straight into the business. $30,000, $20,000 home. Is it possible? Please type in the comments. We'll speak later, but please type in the comments. Is it possible to have a 32 million naira house in Nigeria today? Some people were trying to talk about it the last few sessions we've held, and they said, that is too much. I mean, they said, they are thinking of that what is an affordable house for them is 10 million naira. Let me ask you, how many bags of cement are needed for a block of flats? I mean, for a simple flat. Can you build your own house can you even buy all the blocks and cement in your house with 10 million naira? Definitely not. You need a little more than that. So we are saying that land, we said also last week that land is a critical expense, and that one of the ways to have an affordable house is to have your land not more than 8 to 10%. Meaning, if your house is 50 million naira, for your house to be 50 million, your land must not be more than 5 million naira. And we also know the price of construction in Nigeria, right? So we are saying that your land has to be affordable for the building to be affordable. We want affordable buildings. Chike Brian, you're welcome. Thank you for joining. Please stay on and let's just discuss this together. We are saying that your land has to be affordable for the house to be affordable. I hope you get me. Your land itself, because the house is standing on land, the approval of the land has to be affordable. That means the documentation costs cannot be complicated. All right? If your house is complicated, if your house is complicated, if the design is complicated, the house will be expensive. So it means, what have I said now? Number one, your land has to be affordable. Number two, your land has to be properly documented so that the transfer of title will not make it cumbersome and will not make it expensive. Number three, thank you for all the likes. Thank you, thank you. Keep tapping. Thank you. Number three, your house must be what do you call it? Your house must be a simple design. Don't have all those funky things that people are doing nowadays. They want people to like it. People will like it, but the house will not last long. The house will have issues. It go get issues and it's not a cause. Thank you, Faith, for joining. You're welcome. Thank you very much. Please share. Biscuits, thank you for joining. That's a nice name. Please share this live. Please share this live. I'm inviting a couple of us to speak, so you have the opportunity to speak, because it's not all about me. It's to help us to achieve this home ownership. Rainy Day Space Cube Partnership. That's Rainyday Cooperative Society Space Cube Partnership. So what are we saying? I've mentioned 3 points very quickly. Number one, we've said that your land must be affordable. Your land must not be more than 10% of the value of the building. Number two, your land must be easily documented. The documentation must not be difficult, otherwise you'll not be able to get permits, and you also have to spend a lot on transferring the document. Big success, thank you for joining. So we are saying that these are the fundamentals, these are the issues. And number three, your design must be simple. And today we've talked about one of the other issues in the last 2-3 weeks, and we're talking about this particular issue. How can we get our designs to be simple? Because if your design is not simple, right? All of you remember I talked about Lateef Jakonde, and I'll keep talking about Lateef Jakonde because he's the only person. The federal government of Nigeria has not built as many houses as this man has built as a governor. Nobody has built that number of houses. Almost 50,000 housing units in less than 4 years. Almost 50,000 housing units in less than 4 years. And that was not even in the prosperous days of Nigeria. It was in the fair days, the prosperous days, the real prosperous days that people say, oh, when Nigeria was something. Well, between 1970 to 1978, he became governor in 1976. The decline already started gradually by 1975, 77, 78. He became governor in, I think, 1976, if I'm not mistaken. Third Republic, or Second Republic, sorry. So we are saying that, 79. Oh, thank you. Because I know he became governor after, thank you for correcting me. He became governor after the first recession, after the, that was in fact affected by one Gulf War, one war in the Middle East. I've forgotten, I think Iraq or something. I don't remember so then let me see what I'm not sure. But I know that Nigeria was not rich when that guy started. Then it got worse, of course, under people like Buhari and the rest. But 1979 to 1983, Chief Lateef Jakonde built 45,000 houses. Please, who knows anybody that has built 45,000 housing units in a state? If you know, please raise your hand and tell me the name of the person. How did he achieve it? Number one, title documentation. Easy title documentation as a governor. And he did the same thing in Abuja. Easy title documentation in Abuja, right, as Minister of Housing. And then he did the same thing in Gwarimpa, Gwagwa, and some other estates in Abuja. Gwarimpa and Lugbe in particular in Abuja. And we all know the estates: Oshodi, Solo, Abor, Jesus, the name skipped my mind. Agege, I've mentioned Oshodi, Solo, Meron, different parts of Lagos. Lateef Jakonde built houses for all these people, and we are saying that it is possible for us to do it through private sector, through cooperative societies, through partnerships, and we want you to own your own home in 20,000. If I was a pastor, I would say, repeat after me, I will own my $20,000 home in 2025. Tell your neighbor, I will own my own $20,000 home in 2025. It is possible, and I'm not even motivating you. I'm not capping, honestly. It is possible. Thank you, West, for joining. You are welcome. Thank you, West, for joining. Oh, my Oga, painting literacy. It's been a while. I've not heard from you in a while. Thank you for joining. So we're saying, how can we own a home for $20,000 in 2025? How can we own our own home in 2025? Akbasho, thank you. Akbasho, I don't know whether it's Basho or wrong. So we are saying that 32 million naira can build an affordable home, and we are saying that your design must be simple. That when your design is complicated, because one of the reasons that we have people who really, some developers want their houses to be affordable, but your house is hardly affordable if the house has all of these funny shapes. Look at the picture I used for this. There's actually a design. I'll unveil the design, but I want us to reach 50 views. So you people should, 50 live viewers. So please, you people should keep sharing, keep tapping and keep sharing, please, so that we'll reach that number and then we'll work together. Look at this design. It is very simple. Look at this. Just simple windows, simple, but they did not create any problem for themselves. Simple staircase. This is a staircase here. Simple staircase. See the roof. Simple. Nobody is doing anything complicated. Nobody is trying to do contemporary design. In the process of Ajayi, welcome. In the process of trying to do what so-called contemporary, you will run into issues. You will increase your bill. I'm working on a project now. We're working on a project, and I can tell you that just waterproofing a slab that is not part of the roof, that is just a decoration, a slab, the waterproofing is almost 5 million naira, and that slab, I can tell you guys, is not up to 35 square meters. That is almost 5 million naira. So that means that person has spent 5 million divided by 1,006. Who knows math? That's about 800. Abby, is that $800? I don't know math very well, because I know, but I think it is. So that person has just thrown that money away, right? That person has just thrown that money away. It's not that he threw it away. It's in his own building. It's a private building. But imagine if I put that kind of slab in this building. I have added to the cost of the construction. All right. So we are saying that affordable houses come when people have simple floor plans. Please let us get to 50 viewers so that we can unveil this plan that we've come up with. We've come up with a design. Okay, $3,125 just on, thank you, sir. $3,125 just on a slab for his house, just on a slab. Do you understand? But that 3,125 will finish all the windows of this design. Okay, maybe not all the windows. It will finish two windows of two flats. Yes. It will finish windows of two of the flats in this design I'm going to show you. So the money that you are spending on complicated design, when people are trying to complicate design, we are creating problem for ourselves. All these fine 3Ds, all of us are saying, this 3D is fine. I know a lot of us see these 3Ds. This 3D is fine. But that 3D, is it going to be affordable? Okay, is it going to be affordable? If I type the word contemporary design, if I type contemporary design now, contemporary design right now, Lagos, I'll just type contemporary house Lagos, you will see many so-called fine houses. But I can promise you, all this, you see, I didn't plan this. Look at the designs it's showing me. All these things you are seeing in these designs, they are cost centers. They make the houses more expensive. So when people are telling you that the houses are expensive in Lagos, 100 million, 180 million, who can afford this house in this Tinubu economy? Sorry, I said Buhari economy, but there's no difference. So look at it. All these things are making the house more expensive. All these things we call contemporary, they are just consumption centers. So what we are saying, you people are not sharing, no? You people don't want me to show you the full design. Look at this. Are you seeing that? It's a very complex design. Before you know it, this house becomes expensive. Look at what people are designing in Lagos today. This house will be expensive. There is no way it will not be expensive. It will be expensive. Look at this. It will be expensive because all these things are concrete. You are just pouring concrete. Okay? You are pouring concrete, cantilevers everywhere. You are making your houses more expensive. These are the reasons why your houses are expensive. Tell your developers, if you know any developer that is your friend, your sister, tell them this is what we are talking about. That our houses are expensive because we are choosing complex design. It is not, yes, sometimes the design, look at this one now, 520 million naira. This person, of course, this is a luxury house. So I mean, a should I call it an upper class homeowner? So I'm not going to fight this person because that's his money for his own house. But do you know that this money can build houses for 10 people? Do you know that this 520 million we are seeing in this on this page can build houses for 10 can build 10 apartments? It can build it 10 apartments. I'm not saying this person should not build his house, so don't get me wrong. They are free to. Khalifa, welcome, thank you for joining. I hope you stay. I'm not saying this person should not build his house, so he has the right to buy his house. What I'm saying is that in the case of somebody, Tia, welcome, thank you for joining. Kay, thank you for joining, welcome. Please stay on and let us. So I'm saying this person that has 520, that is buying 520 million naira house, he is free to buy his own 520 million naira house. He has worked for it. He deserves his money. But what I am saying is that this 520 million naira can still build houses for 10 people. That is 52 million naira per house. Okay? But we are saying that, number one, the cost of the land is too high. Number one, the cost of the land is too high. Number two, people are doing complicated designs. When your design is complicated, when the cost of the land is too high, when the land is difficult to transfer, your house will not be affordable. And when the house is not affordable, the house rent will not be affordable. I'm not talking about construction materials today. We've talked about construction materials many times. Cement price went up this month. I don't know how many of us know. Cement that used to be 9,000 is now 10,000. Cement went up by over 800 to 1,000 depending on the manufacturer in the last 1 month. In the last 1 month, yes. So, what are we saying? Thank you, Alex, for joining. Please stay on. We're talking about how you can own your own house in 2025. Okay? Please stay on. Thank you very much. Mr. Goze, I really appreciate you. Keep sharing, keep liking. Well done. Thank you very much. So we're saying that how can you own your own home in 2025? Make it affordable. How can we make it affordable? Simplify the design. Get affordable land. Well, because you have all stayed here, I'll be sharing one of the designs that my team came up with. Okay, and let me tell you first, before I go into that, I want to tell you about location, because how do you keep land affordable? If you are going to buy land in Ekpe, Ekpe, thank you, Chike, for joining again. If you are going to buy land in some parts of Lagos, you cannot, your building cannot be affordable. If you are going to buy land in Ikeja, your building cannot be affordable except your government. Hadiza Ibrahim, thank you for joining. If you go and buy land in Ikeja, your house will not be affordable because land in Ikeja is almost 500,000 naira per square meter. Even the cost of construction is lower than the cost of the land in some cases. So we are saying that you need to buy affordable land. If you already have affordable land, beautiful. Or go to people who are building on affordable land. If somebody is building look at this map. I'm sorry, my camera is black and white. If you know TikTok better than me, I'll be happy. Jennifer, thank you for joining. Waka Architect, thank you. Wow, my boss is here. Thank you very much for joining. We're talking about how people can own affordable homes, and we're using $20,000 as the benchmark. $20,000 as the benchmark. And we're saying that people should have simple designs, because you cannot have an affordable home on complex designs. It's usually difficult to achieve. It's usually very difficult to achieve. Okay, so thank you for joining, sir. I'll be happy to have you on the podium at some point. So I'll be leaving the stage for us to speak, but I'll just wrap it up very quickly. My main talking point very quickly. So what we're saying is that if you buy land, look at this. This is Ogun State. Let me show you how far this is from Lagos. This is Mowe that my mouse is hovering over, right? This is Mowe. Mowe is exactly, you can do that on your own so that we don't get distracted and lose time. But Mowe is exactly, let me use the screen. Mowe is exactly 35 minutes or 20 minutes, depending on the time of the day, from Ojudu Berger here. Which means on a day with traffic, 30 minutes. On a day without traffic, it's less. and then from Berger into Lagos. So you just picture your time to get to Berger and then you move in. And we're saying that in this place in particular, me, I can speak for myself. I have seen land in this place, excuse me, I have seen land in this place for less than 5 million naira per plot. Now, if you have land at 5 million naira per plot, and we are saying that your land must not be more than 50% of your, I mean, your land must not be less than 10% of your, I mean, must not be more than 8 to 10%. What that means is that if your land is 5 million naira per plot, you can then build a house minimum. I mean, at that rate, you can build a 50 million naira house. And we are looking at a potential. Our goal is to make it, as we said, a 20,000 naira home, which is 34 million naira. So 50 million for the finishes, because somebody may want CDK tiles, somebody else may want very simple local tiles, somebody else may not even want tiles. Okay, I'll be happy to have Waka Architect. So I'm adding you, sir, and I think I'll allow you to, because I know you are quite busy. You may want to run away quickly. So we are saying that it is possible and that we are not just talking, because if we keep talking, we are not better than the people we are talking about, but we are trying to work. And so we have seen something. We will be unveiling it to us along the line. We are still doing all of our due diligence, because snag inspector, I always say, do your due diligence, don't rush to buy land. I will never rush anybody to buy land. I will always tell the person, better you wait for 5 years and get it right. All right. So I'll be having Mr. Ray join us very soon. Okay, he's a senior architect. I'll be having him join us very soon. But I just want to give us this download, and then we'll get to taking comments from everybody. So we're saying that, sorry, a call is coming in and disturbing my screen. So we're saying that a land we have somewhere around here, I will not be able to show you because we are still investigating, but it is not far from here. I mean, literally around here. This is Nasat Islamic Center. I'm sorry, my screen is black and white. You may not be able to see it clearly. But this is Nasfat Islamic Center along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. This is Deeper Life International Christian Center on the other hand. And this is Redemption Camp in front. Okay? And we are saying, let me use my fingers so that I can see. This is Redemption Camp. You can zoom, I mean, you can also confirm that on your map. And we're saying that in this area, there is land for that amount. And you can see people who have actually done some of these things here. This is an estate somewhere in Redemption in this area, okay? And we're saying that we have seen a potential to do that, because you cannot be living, everybody cannot build a house for 90 million, buy 90, 100, 200 million naira houses. We cannot continue this way. We have to figure out a solution. We have to figure out a solution. And this is what my employer, Space Cube Construction Limited, and Rainyday Cooperative Society, this is what we are doing. So I'd like Mr. Ray to speak very quickly to just shortly, so that we can, because I'll be unveiling the design we have, but I've told everybody, if we don't get 50 viewers, we may not show us the flow, because I really need us to share so that we can get as many people educated as we can. But I'd like to have Mr. Ray speak. I'd like you to just because I mentioned three factors. I said affordable land, well-documented land, and simple designs. So I just want you to, in like 3 minutes or 2 minutes, just speak to how simple designs will help us to have affordable homes, especially blocks of flats where you densify the development so that the land is not too expensive. I'd like you to speak because I know you'll be running out soon. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate this opportunity. Not to spend too much time. Like you said, simple designs really do help when it comes to managing costs, because a lot of times, based on our peculiar environment and particular weather, our homes should be built in a certain way that is easy to achieve materials locally, and also gets local craftsmen, which is what we've practiced in the past in our history. Most times the were local, the materials were local, the design style was based on what was available. So if you're in Ogun State, you are building where they have a lot of rocks, you are working with the thing you have. So, but the architecture has changed. Now we have a lot of foreign architecture that's come into the system without any proper research and development as to how these designs affect, because many of us think that building a house is just building the house. We never check the life cycle of the building, cost of maintaining the building. We never check cost of having the building over a period of time, and that tends to affect a lot of the cost, because you're going to count, you're going to checkmate what it costs to build, what it costs to maintain, and what it costs you to renovate and all the rest. So if we are talking affordable housing, we need to talk about design. The design should be easy, seamless. If you look at some of these countries like Asia, China, and the rest, when you see the architecture, you can actually see the way they repeat patterns, repeat models. So there's repetition. There's repetition. There's no waste of any space. Imagine the amount of space we waste. If you take all the space we waste in a block of 200 flats and you add each flat waste times 200 and you put it in numbers, it would be a crazy sum. You would not believe it. So I really do believe that what we are doing now, like you having this platform to discuss these things, what we need. We need to start from the research and development before we start to integrate anything. So we need to know the numbers, we need to know the laws, we need to know the system. We need to before, because many people, what they do is that they just buy a property and start foundation. They don't really think about it all through. They just start foundation. Then after a while, they are thinking two floors. They don't really think it through. So before you know, nobody's really doing a cost evaluation beforehand so that the cost will direct how you move and what material you use, what size of building you should do. Those are things that I personally feel that we should look at the research and the development of these things before we start to put cement and block on life. So I really hope that you know, this talk, hits a lot of people so that people can actually understand that the reason why you're getting the numbers you're getting for houses is not just because things are expensive, because we are not. Imagine I want to be conservative with costs and I'm buying a, let's say, Range Rover. It doesn't really work. So if I want to conserve costs, I should be looking at a Corolla. Just giving an instance. So many times I think people should actually look at what they are about to go into before they go into it. So everything, every finish, every decision influences the entire cost. I'll just wrap it up with this. Before, we used to use louvers as a means of foundation. When we switched
Yes,
away
yes.
from louvers, we did not have any factor to. We didn't say, "Oh, we are now rich. We can move to casement windows." We didn't say that. We just switched because we just saw a pattern that we liked, and we threw out the old one rather than improving on it. Because I know in Ghana they still have louvers in Ghana. I've had to import louvers from Ghana. They've changed it from the brass material to PVC material. So we have
Mm,
left
and,
it.
and and that is nice, and
Yeah,
that will be
it's
nice, really.
nice. Yes, it's nice. I would even want to improve on that material because I had some issues with the handles. So I want to improve on it. But that is the whole idea. Improving on things, putting in mind cost consideration, the economy. So rather than just switching from one item to another without even looking at the general plan. Now there's no louvers in Nigeria anymore like we used to have before. So that's a very good example.
I'm sorry to cut you. I just want to add to what you are saying that I did a project recently, and the windows alone, the original build for windows, the person wanted to use high quality aluminum frame from these guys in Ojota. I don't want to mention brand name, but you may know them. It was almost 22 million naira for windows alone, and we were only doing 38 windows or 40 windows. It's
Yes. It
over
applies
20 something million naira.
That's
Whereas
crazy.
if you were doing, yes, this person has mentioned one of the brand names. Yes, Tower was even more expensive than the other one. B&M, since we are mentioning, B&M was 22, Tower was 28 for just 40 something windows. Now that can build a house on its own. And
Yeah.
it's just, we had to now compromise, we reduce the size of the windows from 1.8 to 1.5 something. We reduced the width from 2.4 to 2.2 in some cases, just so that it could achieve its cost.
So there's something you just said now that I really like that I mentioned. So the cost of the windows made you reduce the size of the windows. Now in Africa, we need bigger windows. No, let me use Nigeria. In Nigeria, we
Yes,
need bigger windows for us to get good
yes,
insulation and
yes,
maintain good indoor quality of air. Now,
yes,
because we've not put our cost plan in check, now we have to now adjust our window size, which is what I see a lot of developers do now. They do narrow
yes,
windows, whereas we don't. It's in other, like if you're in a dusty desert area, we need to have smaller windows like in the north. But for example, now in Lagos, I need to have real big windows. So because I'm using the option of aluminium, I have done wooden windows in Lagos in the project we did in Lagos Island. We used wood to do windows. Do you know that nobody noticed us wood? People just come there like, oh, such a beautiful house. They just walk around. Nobody remembered because why? We grew up with wooden windows. When we switched from wood, it should have been an option. Oh, the rich can choose this option. Then the middle earner can choose this option. The low income earner can choose. But what we just do is that when we are switching, they override the initial ones. I used a local carpenter to make these windows. I bought local wood in Lagos. The glass was I think they do, yeah, they said they do glass in Lagos. So the local glass, so everything was done in Nigeria, in Lagos. Everything about the window was done in Lagos from A to Z. So I can control the cost. I can decide that, you know what, since it's all local, I can go and source wood from multiple um, wood vendors to see the best I can get. But when you're importing stuffs, you don't really control anything. You don't control much. You just pay what is being requested from you. You don't give people options. When I say affordable housing, I should know that I'm looking at some kind of materials automatically.
yes,
But when
yes.
there's no
So
option,
we are not
yeah,
all trying to use the same materials for
exactly,
everybody, and we still want it to be
exactly,
affordable.
exactly. I think 4 years ago or 3 years ago, 2022, I bought a door for one door. HDF door was about 80, let's say 75 to 90,000 naira for one door. That same door now is going for about 300 and something thousand naira. Now, that board is imported, it's not local. But we grew up with flush doors that was made with normal wood. We just get wood here in Nigeria, we spray it. But all of a sudden, they sold us the idea of laminated, coming already fitted, and everybody. I understand that's a beautiful door. What should have happened is that those that can afford it to switch to it. Those that cannot afford
Yes,
it maintain. But what happens is that everybody just moves as moves with the trend. It shouldn't be so. I've made local doors that are so beautiful that when you see them, you understand that this is what we should be in. This is what, like I said, this research you're making, this kind of talk, what we need for people to remember where we are coming from, our origin, what we used to do, and start emulating it. That's really my bottom statement. We need to go back to
all
it.
right.
Yeah. Thank you
All
very much.
right.
I really
Thank you
appreciate
very, very much. Very, very much, sir. I have forgotten where my clap emoji is, but please, I mean, I clap, there's a sound.
it.
So thank you. I
All
will
right.
find it. I must find it. But thank
Thank
you
you.
very much, sir. I really appreciate us. I mean, I appreciate you. And I believe we all benefit, we all appreciate his speaking to us. So we're saying that this is what we should be doing, and we're looking to, if we want to have affordable homes, this is what we should be doing. So I would like I don't know. Again, I think you people, because my screen is black and white, I'm guessing you are not seeing it clearly. But if you can, just Google. You can also just Google what I have Googled. Google CHOIS, and then just check affordable homes in Lagos, and you see the difference between what they, just as he has said, simple designs, simple finishes. Okay, even the government of Lagos till now, they are doing the most, simple designs that have long maintenance lifespan and all of that. And then they are working with cooperative models, for example, to achieve the financing. This is how we should be going. We should not all try to be doing the same thing and expect different results. Okay, look at this house. I just wish we can see it very well, but you can just check it. It's an estate in Abidjan, and you can see it. Simple roof, everything very basic. Nobody is trying to do one magic roof, one magic flat roof or hidden roof, as some people call it these days. And these are the things that help us to minimize cost, help us to perfect the construction. Yes, Choice Garden Abidjan, Choice Estate Abidjan. We can check it out and we'll see what we're talking about. These are the things we should be looking at so that we can have affordable homes. Then those who can afford, when you can afford, if we can achieve 20,000, which is what we want to achieve. And like I said, we have already tried to see land that is good with C of O, everything affordable, less than 5 million naira. So that is option one. Now there are still other things. Cement is not going to drop for us. It is we who will come up with alternatives. Blocks are not, the choice of this price of block will not drop for us. We are the ones who will come up with alternatives. Like our friend brother has said, the windows will not drop for us. The companies we've talked about, they are making windows. The average window now, the cheapest average window that I know, that is standard aluminum. There's a name they call those frames, powder coated frames. The standard that I know is almost 350 to 600,000 naira for an average 1.8 by 1.8 meter window, which is averagely what I would design. Every design I have done, almost every single design I have done, we've had to reduce windows because of cost. In fact, some people have even reduced window that I said, no, I cannot take this. Some will still say, okay, reduce this one and introduce a window here. We need to have ventilation. Why are we reducing window? Because of cost. This, we are even trying, because we still make sure we follow the proportions, which is we have a proportion that we architects use when we are calculating windows. Some people will now give you slice of window, they'll say it's architectural design. But anyway, we're not here to talk about designs. AJ, thank you for joining. Welcome. Lucky X, thank you for joining. We're talking about how you can own your own affordable home in 2025. So let's just get back to the screen. I'll be sharing the design with us briefly, and I'll have us speak. I thank you all who have joined, and please remember to share the link. Remember to share the link, share with people, and then let's have this nice discussion. I can't find my co-host, Mr. Rainyday Coop. I don't know what has happened. He was here. Let me re-invite him because he will be speaking soon. And my other Oga is also here. So, Mr. Ray, I'll be stepping you down so that because I have a limited number of co-speakers, but Mr. Rainyday Cooperative, our finance partner, will be happy to have you join us, sir. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here, and I like that. Thank you to Mr. Ray for speaking. And it particularly strikes me because of my background in sourcing for products around the world and in engineering. Because sometimes the the difference between profits and bankruptcy, even in business, is where you get your materials. And it's more so because of the exchange rate. So I give you an example. Your If we're buying something for $10 10 years ago, especially for a real estate business, your that thing, if you still have the Chinese today, it's probably still $10 till today. But in naira terms, it is no longer 1,500 or 1,600 as it was 10 years ago. It is now 16,000 naira today. So without any fault of ours, things have gone from 15,000 and 1,600 naira 10 years ago, this time 10 years ago, to 16,000 naira today. All of these costs affect construction costs. And how do you battle it? Number one is import substitution, like Mr. Ray has spoken about. Number two is bulk purchase. When you build through a cooperative, you there is tax efficiency, number one. Number two, you are able to buy materials in bulk. So even if you are buying local materials, you can buy it in bulk. And as it is in economy, they say economies of scale. The person who is supplying one unit to you, and the person who knows that you want to buy 100 units, the pricing you will get and the credit terms will be different. So, not to take too much of our time, why we are doing through the cooperative system is because of the tax advantage. There is not much legal protection, legal or legit tax protection outside of the cooperative system. And you can't do it as an individual. If you do it as an individual, you will not get access to the economies of scale. So the cooperative system is recognized all over the world and even in our country as a way of self-help. That's why they call them self-help organizations. We are helping ourselves towards a common goal. This common goal at this time happens to be owning a home. And I'm sure many of us have grown up in households where our parents were members of cooperatives and they bought land, they bought cars, some of them built houses and all whatnot. The more things change, the more they remain the same. The laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the state laws that allow those things to happen there, those laws have not been repealed. So let us not be like the generation that was trying to reinvent the wheel. That's why we are coming together to work with ourselves and other cooperatives to leverage on the resources, come together to do successful projects, and then we would be able to drive down the cost. Then, as we come together to contribute towards all of these things, we are also removing the financing cost. Financing cost is a major problem. MPR today is 27.5%. That is how much the CBN expects you to earn on top of your money without doing anything. Which means if you are lending somebody your money, you need to earn more than that because there's a risk to it. So by the time you come together and remove the financing cost, like I explained last week, that means you have removed somewhere between 40 to 50% of the cost of the project. Because if somebody lends you 1 billion to build a house or a bunch of houses, it means that they are going to expect 40% at the end of the year. If you are not able to sell it all at the end of the year, another round of interest will climb on it. That interest that climbed on it has to come out from somewhere. So as we go, we need to remove that part of the equation because some people have a bit of cash flow. 1 million here, 1 million there, 1 million here, 1 million there. We cannot say that those people do not deserve to own a house. 500k here, 500k there is coming together too. We cannot say that all those people don't deserve to own a home and they have to go and buy an expensive home for 90 million, 100 million, 200 million. So I look forward to us working together. I look forward to us prospering together, and more people will see our results and join us to own homes in 2025 and going forward. Thank you, everyone. I'll give the mic to Slang Inspector to carry on.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you to everyone who has joined. Please, I'm going to be showing you the design. Gozie will speak very briefly, because Gozie is a solid follower of ours and is a builder, by the way. So, and he's a young builder, and I really respect the opinions of or the ideas of younger. Our team, by the way, is of course we have some older professionals because we need guidance, all of us too. But our team consists a lot of young professionals, and Gozie is a young builder, and I just want him to speak specifically regarding building materials, and just for 2 minutes if you can, Mr. Gozie, you can unmute, but please make it very brief. 2 minutes, not more than that, and how we can get affordable homes with affordable materials, because one of the problems, as you know, I mean, in your part of the country, I won't mention, except you want to, but in his part of the country, I know houses are also becoming as expensive as Lagos, and people are wondering, why are houses expensive in this part of the country? You have a lot of laterite, you have a lot of rocks, okay, and they have a lot of local technology, they build a lot of machines in this part of the country. Why are things still expensive? So can you please, in 1 minute or two, I mean, of course, using the freshness of your academic experience to also enlighten us, then we'll unveil the design. Please, everyone, you're all welcome. Please ensure you share, and we'll be talking about our particular design, and we'll wrap up the meeting briefly. So Gozie, please unmute and speak very quickly. Thank you.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Regarding the issue at hand, like I said in our previous live, that somehow new to the industry. So mostly I'm a fresh graduate, so I don't really know much. But either way, in my IT, I think regarding what Ray said, he mentioned something about people not running their course through before starting the construction. Most times leading to abandoned building, and like snag inspector said too, that at some point they have to reduce the sizes of the window, and so the cost can be accommodated. So the issue of the windows, yeah, I witnessed it there on site. This was the quotation the window people were bringing were too much for the clients to accommodate, so he has to reduce the window sizes. And he was trying to option for a casement window rather than the normal sliding window which most people use. So I think mostly solution to all this should, at least the person should check his cost and then before starting the construction. So
All right. Okay, go ahead.
that's
Sorry, I
just
didn't
it.
know you had finished. Sorry.
I say I'm done. I'm
All
almost
right. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Jose. So, your experience is valid, because whether you are, like I used to tell you, whether you are still a student or not, and you are a graduate anyway, you have learned something. You have gone through over 1,100 hours of lectures. What am I saying? Probably up to 500 hours of lectures. So, we respect your opinions, and we honor that. We honor that. All right. So welcome to everyone who has joined again. Welcome, Books Law. Welcome. So I'll just be showing us one of the designs that we have come up with, and we are working on all of the paperwork. So we'd only be showing you a 3D that is not fully rendered. We'll be doing a proper unveiling later on, but this is an idea of what we're looking at. So we're looking at an affordable home where you have two bedrooms, one here practically, a living room here. Of course, you can see by design, we always design wide windows. Wide windows. This is about 2.4 meters, if I'm not mistaken. This room is 3.6 on this side. So this is about 2.4, the width of this window. Then the other one, because of the working table, that'll be there. So we also have this other view of it, and it's of course work in progress, and of course we cannot really unveil all of it to you. But what we are saying is that in this building, the agenda and what we know is possible is that we are doing I said 60, 20,000 US dollars. I beg your pardon, 20,000 US dollars. You can own a home for 20,000 US dollars using the same Dangote cement everybody goes to the market to use. But there are unique materials you can use, and we are working on that. We'll be sharing some of these because obviously it's a bit of proprietary information. We can show you the floor plans, but we may not be able to show you all of the, should I call it, all of the secret sauce, as it were. But we're saying that affordability is in the intention, okay? And like Gose said, you have to be intentional about cost. You have to be intentional from day one about cost before you even begin the actual construction. Thank you, Didi. I don't know if you would still be able to speak. Didi is one of the most reputable realtors in Surulere, Lagos, right? And he may be able to speak. If he can speak, I'll be happy to have him. But I mean, the point we are making is that this is an affordable home in our definition, and we are saying that once you have multiple of this in several places like this Mowe, which we have shown you, you have the potential of owning your home. So this is what we're talking about, and like I said, it's just by this NAFTA. I said NAFTA. Pardon me, please. Not intentional. This NASFAT. It's just along this road. It's somewhere around here, but I can't. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to tell you the exact location. But somewhere around here, affordable land, and there is a lot of land in these locations. There is a lot of land in all of these locations, and then if you do high density consistently, remember we've spoken about high density. Do high density development consistently. Do 4 floors or 5 floors. In fact, we have a variant that will go up to 5-6 floors. That one will have elevator, obviously. But again, these things are not luxury. You don't having an elevator does not mean it is a luxurious home. It just means it is an efficient home. It is efficient. It's not luxurious. It is efficient. It's not luxurious. So that's what we're working on. And I just thought we should unveil it to our TikTok followers. We'll also probably be holding another one for our Instagram followers very soon. But we want you to join Rainyday Cooperative Society. You are early birds. You are all those of you who are here. You know it ahead of those who are not yet here. So we'll be happy to have those of you who can join us very quickly before it gets hot. And we also look forward to doing this because in doing this, you are solving the housing problem not just by talking but by taking action. And you heard us last week. If you were here last week and you hear us keep saying it, we don't just want to do all the talking. Oh, this is not how to build. Oh, snag inspector says don't do this, don't do that. What has snag inspector done? This is it. Come and follow us now that we are starting. You are early to the party. Gose is here. You'll probably be there on site. Maybe, who knows? If Gose comes to site, he will say, I follow these people on Snag Inspector. Now I'm on the site. 1010A, welcome. Thank you for joining. So this is what we're looking at. And we're saying that, of course, we've iterated this design. Again, we'll be unveiling the floor plan. There's a floor plan here, but I'll not be able to show you that at the moment. But we're saying that people need to live in dignified homes. People need to live in places with small gardens and everything. They don't have to be rich to afford it, and they don't have to be on the island. They can be in Mowe, Bafo, and other areas, Ifo, Shagamu, and commute daily to Lagos or commute to different places. And we're saying that this can happen in any state of Nigeria. I hope we all remember we spoke about that. In any state in Nigeria, any state in Nigeria, any state in Nigeria, any state. I'm repeating that intentionally. This can happen in any state, okay? We can do this in Onitsha. Onitsha is densely populated. 6 floors of things like this exist all over Onitsha. We can do it in Ariaria. We can do it in Aba. We can do it in Umuahia. We can do it in Port Harcourt, Rumuola, Rumu Igbo, and all of the Rumus and Garrison and all of those places in Port Harcourt, all the way in Lugbe. And you do that and you solve the housing problem cooperatively. This is the ultimate goal. Thank you, Princess, for joining. Cooperatively, you do that cooperatively, and that's what our goal is. So wait to thank you for joining. Okay, so that's what we're working on, and that is the goal of Snag Inspector. We want to solve actual housing problems. We want you to own your own home in 2025 for 20,000 US dollars, not 40,000, not 50,000. Affordable home where you can have a basic plan, and within that basic plan, even in your small budget. Let me give an example before I close. My colleague talked about the window. I can tell you about tiles. There is a way we can floor your house where if you don't have the money for tiles, you can put a rug and you manage it for them. When you have money, you can tile it. But once you tile it, you have already added money to the house. And people say, we can't afford. Why? No, just use. There is a smart system that we will show you as part of our basic plan. So this building we're talking about, it's going to come in 3 different plans, but we'll be unveiling all of those details later on. But it will come in different plans. It will have the basic meaning you just, without your exact $20,000 or maybe plus or minus 5,000, depending on what you want, you can get the basic or carcass, depending on what you want to call it, meaning people can afford something basic, okay? Because that's our goal. People should be able to afford something basic. Then somebody else says, I want my wall to be this. There is a basic paint. There is the satin. I'm sure we all know there are different types of paint. There's satin, there's matte, there's emulsion, there's acrylic, there's text coats. There are different types. So we do the basic. Let everybody have basic housing. The person who now has extra money will say, me, I want tile. The person who wants security door will say, me, I want bulletproof door. Everybody will now have, so there will be 3 levels of customization, which will be sharing with us along the line. Okay, so those of you who have shown interest, we are happy that you have followed us this far. We're happy you've joined Kingdom Messages. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. We have Clef Joe. I think you were here last week, if I'm not mistaken, or 2 weeks ago. Thank you very much for being a part. If you'd like to speak, I'll give you a few minutes before, but I just want to say this. So on this, for example, look at the roof. We are not, like I said, simple design, because when your design is complicated and you're using all those jazzy fizzy roofs, if I can call them that, you are creating complication. And the building becomes more expensive. When you are using all those, all these funny shapes we used to see nowadays, confusion will happen. But somebody who owns this home for $20,000, the person downstairs can say he wants tile, but this person says, I know if you afford tile now just that option A, which we'll be sharing with you. Now that just that one I feel afford. You go get that tile. This one says he wants bulletproof door. This one doesn't want bulletproof door, because bulletproof door is over 1.2 million naira right now. Okay, some are even as high as 5 million if it's pure glass. So this person may want pure glass bulletproof door. This one wants basic wood. The Lord is his shepherd. He doesn't want. He will leave the basic. That is what we are talking about, that people should be able to have a home for $20,000. That is what my employer and Rainyday Cooperative Society want us to achieve. Rainyday, again, remember, it's to achieve tax efficiency. So you are not paying all those capital gains and all of those taxes. You are just working with the cooperative society to get an affordable housing plan, and then you can acquire the home through that platform. Okay, and this is what we are talking about. The only thing that is going to have the same cost will be the basic elements. Every other thing can then be custom. So you can have your basic toilet. This is the basic toilet, but the person that wants what do you call these smart toilet seats, you can get the smart toilets from whatever part of the world you want to get it. So this is what we are talking about, and I really want to share it with. I really want us to work together to achieve it. Again, for emphasis, for those of you who just joined, Clef Joe, I'll be adding you shortly, sir. I'll be having you speak shortly. But for those of us who want to join, I'm saying that this is what we are looking at, and we already have land in conjunction with many other cooperative societies. We are in a network of over 1,000 cooperative societies in Ikeja alone, and almost 15,000 across the whole of Lagos State, where they are meeting recently, and we are saying that we have systems. Unfortunately, we will not be able to tell you all of our models unless you become a member of our own cooperative, or you have your own cooperative and you want to work with us. Then we can tell you the model. But the point of what we are saying is land is cheaper that way. When land is cheaper, you can build this type of house, and this person can use $20,000 to buy a home. That is what Snag Inspector wants. That is what we want to achieve. And we are saying that we are capable of achieving this. So this one in particular is somewhere around Mowe we are targeting. We already have land. We are doing all of the documentation and all of the due process, because we don't want to be involved in. I mean, see me, I'm talking in. No, no, it's not in dollars. The house is not in dollars. We are just saying because that's it's a global reference number for affordable homes, really, $20,000. But in naira, thank you very much for joining, Lady Builder. She's one of our solid partners here. Thank you very much, madam. So we are saying that we want people to own a home with $20,000. If we say 34 million naira, some Nigerians may not be able to relate with the reality of economics. But when we say $20,000 and you take it back to 2015 or 2011, that was how much basic homes cost. Some of the estates, I already showed that earlier in the presentation. Some of those houses were, let me see if I can find that page. Some of those houses were equivalent of, like these choice homes. I particularly showed this to somebody. I remember showing this to someone sometime in 2022. And this particular home, as at that time, it's in Abijo GRA. As at that time, it was around 15 million. In fact, they started selling at 11 million. I remember well. Then they increased it towards the end to 15 million naira. And so at that time, with the 110 naira, 120, 150, it still came to around, I can't remember the exact calculation, but I know it still came to around $20,000 to plus documentation fees. So that's about the global standard for affordable homes, minimum affordable homes. So we are using dollars because, I mean, we're speaking to a global audience rather than just limiting ourselves to the naira where, somebody else may be living elsewhere. So I'll definitely be happy to have you speak. So Clef Joe, we'll be happy to have you speak, Clef Joe. I think you were here last week. I'll be happy to have you speak. Thank you, sir.
Very snag inspector. I mean, doing the Lord's work. I just want to say that what you talked about, I think the last time I spoke, I talked about that as a society, we've really lost the ability of solving problems. The Soviet had the same problem after World War II. They had a lot of homelessness. And they said, okay, what's the cheapest way that we could solve this problem? And they came up with the commie blocks. I don't know if you've heard about the commie blocks. Very popular. A lot of former
Yeah.
Soviets have
Yes, yes.
commie blocks. It's kind of getting a kind of resurgence now. What were commie blocks? Commie blocks were buildings that were made to be very affordable, easy to build. A lot of them, they were built using were fabrication. Like they were built using industrial capacity of the Soviet Union. Fabricated the building, they standardized everything from the doors to the windows to everything, so that it was very easy to assemble. It was very easy to build, it was very easy to assemble, and they provided just the basic, and people were able to find a place to live. The important thing about the commie blocks was how the city were planned. They called them micro districts. The whole idea was to build a city around, unlike the US where you build a city around cars, the micro districts were built to self-sustain. So you had schools, you had supermarkets, you had hospitals. Each micro district has a school, has a supermarket, has a hospital. So you never need to have to drive a car. So if your kids are going to school, they have a place where they can just walk down to school. And then it's now forced communal living. Like it ensured that people socialize. It ensured that because they had common spaces where they ensured that, okay, there was that social living, people were able to know their neighbors and all of that. And that level of systemic thinking is one of what I'm seeing here about this, very, very affordable home. As a people, as a culture, we no longer value simplicity and basic. Even the brokest person, if I should pardon me to use that word, wants some form of luxury in his house. I
Yes,
think just one of the
I
salient things.
apologize. I apologize. I feel it's rude to interrupt, but I just want you made a valid point that I just want to emphasize that even in our local shops, there was a time when people used to build their shops with wood. Now everybody is trying to put aluminium in front of their shops. They can't afford it. They put aluminium, they put tiles, they put bright lights, and you see, this guy, just keep your shop simple so that So I'm just adding to you that you are absolutely right. That's a societal, a big problem in the society. But you can go on, sir.
I
I just
I
wanted
I
to
once
buttress your
my
point.
I once saw a house in Abuja. We call them villages. Villages just like places where people build. There are not much supervision. The land, you don't have papers for the land, so you know. And this guy was using Spanish tiles. This was back in 2017. He was using Spanish tiles, and the house was like in one of those um very, I don't want to say ghetto, but it's just like one of those off-brand area that
Yeah, all those
anytime.
Angwan Duty, Angwan
Yeah,
Panios.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly, one of
I
those
get you.
Aguan places. Yeah.
Yeah.
And and I can assure you that this guy, his electricals are messed up. If the electrician comes to meet him and tell him, sir, we need to use this type of cabling, he will say, nah, just make it work. Why? Because electrical wiring is hidden, right? We are always signaling, and it's in our culture. And I think it's one of the byproducts of poverty. Everybody wants to signal that you see this poverty that is going around, and it doesn't affect me. So see what I'm using for my tiles and that kind of a thing. So yes, it's a very good thing that we are going down to the basic, and I love the fact that you emphasize on this on basic. Like the toilet seater doesn't have to be the most luxurious, but at least it gets the job done. You don't have to use even tiles. You can use flex tiles, and sometimes you always think your way through to solve problem. Base principles. Let's start from base principles.
Yes.
You want to achieve something, you ask yourself, don't think of which money will allow me. Sometimes you don't even need money. Sometimes you just need to position a window. Sometimes you need to plant trees. Sometimes you need to, think out of the box, and you find out that, what, this thing I'm trying to case in point, in South Africa, when you're building a house, among the things that need your approval is how energy efficient is your house. That is by design. It's expected that the house should be energy efficient. How you handle natural light, how you handle ventilation, all of those things should be built into your house. And these are things that one can look at when you are building the basic house, because you understand that, there's going to be that issue with electricity. There's going to be that you then want to build a house that kind of know that you're living in a country where power is can be unreliable. And these are some things that you really want to factor into building the house. So I just wanted to say you're doing a good job. Also to buttress the fact that this has been done before.
Yes.
Looking at the example of the commie blocks, which the Soviet Union built mass housing, and it was very successful. Probably one of the most successful cases of where the country puts its trust together to do something. And the important thing that you're doing is that what you're doing would not just benefit the beneficiaries, but will serve as a blueprint that people will then know that, what, it's not just about building terraces in and duplex and terraces and stuff. You can actually build something very functional and something that is going to impact on people and is going to solve problems for people. And so, yeah, so good job.
Thank you very, very much, sir. I really appreciate you. Thank you, sir. Clef Joe has been has followed us for quite a while and is always encouraging us. And we appreciate you, sir. So for those of you who are just new, thank you, KB, ARC, and Deep Thought. We're speaking basically about affordable ownership, homes, and we're saying that we want to walk our talk because we've been saying everybody is saying houses are expensive. We say the building materials are expensive. So what is the solution? We would keep complaining? No, we have to take action. So we said in our own way, we have Rainyday Cooperative Society, which I'm a member of, and we are connected to a network of cooperative societies in Lagos State, over 15,000 of them. But we attended a meeting within the Ikeja district last week with over about 500 cooperative societies were represented, and we have partnered with one of them that has land in Mowe. Again, like I said, because we are still in the documentation stage, we cannot show you all of the details, but I am showing you this map so that even if tomorrow you find out, you say, snag is where, you hope you did not lie, it's somewhere around Nasfat Islamic Center. That's the best I can show for now. And we are saying that one of the ways to keep your homes affordable is even Lagos state government, see what they are doing. They keep their houses very simple. Sorry that my camera is showing black and white. For some reason, it just changed, and I can't even get that to change. But I hope the message is being communicated, which is the most important thing. So the topic, very simply, is getting affordable homes. Number one, low cost of land, getting land less than 10% of the value of the house. Yes, deep thought, exactly. So we found one, and we are doing all of the documentation because, of course, due diligence. I shout about due diligence, so I must walk my talk. Otherwise, you are free to drag me. So we are saying that affordable homes. Number one, you need to have affordable land, and that is land that is less than 10% of the cost of the construct of the entire project. And then you need to, as much as possible, go vertical, which is what the Lagos state government has done, because you densify that development in, and this is what they've done. This is in Igbogbo, in Ikorodu, and I showed us Choice Garden. This is in Abijo, and we are saying that this is our unique design, which we have come up with, and we are looking at 3 to 4 floors in Mowe, and we are working on the documentation already. And we are saying, of course, if you are interested, you can join our cooperative society, and that's Rainyday Cooperative. The president is speaking here. No, Baba, no, it is Baba Fatai cannot be involved. If Baba Fatai is involved, you people will drag me, because you don't know my face, but if you Google the company, you know all the things you need to know. Space Cube Construction Limited. I always mention the name of the company. Okay, so Space Cube Construction Limited, Google, and you please, I don't want Baba Fatai. So, Lady Builder, you were asking us about USD. I would like you to unmute. She's also a builder, and she's a professional that works in Lagos. She also understands building documentation a lot. I'd like her to speak with us very briefly, so that she explains to us, I mean, her own perspective. Before I go on, I just want to mention, for those of us, ARC FBC, ARC 6FB, thank you. So before I go on, I just wanted to also mention that one of the things we emphasized in simplifying a home is not just having simple floor plans, which is what we are working on, but also having simple finishes, because almost everybody in Nigeria today wants to have tiles. And we're saying your floors don't have to be tiled. Your floors can be I've forgotten the word, but your floor can be, there's a coloring material we put, red oxide, not red oxide, but red. So you just do that, and you can pattern it, and your floor is fine, and you are not tiling for the first. So when you are a young couple, you can buy these kinds of houses. Both of you are working in a bank, because I feel bad when I hear people are working in a bank, the family, husband and wife, on 800,000, but they cannot buy a house. I can promise you, if you find a 30,000 naira house, your mortgage, your gateway mortgage bank in Ogun State, your Ibile bank, mortgage bank in Lagos, and the other mortgage banks, they can fund your home. I promise you. Okay, and we have many mortgage banks. We have many of them. So, Lady Builder, you've heard some of the comments. I would like you to fire on very quickly. Thank you.
Okay, so good evening, everybody.
Good
Okay,
evening.
okay. Good evening.
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
So good evening, everybody. So, yes, Lady Builder. That's my name. So, I've been into building construction for a very long time. Been into documentation for a very long time. So, let me just go into what you just said quickly. Number one, mortgage bank in Nigeria is not a mortgage bank. So, I don't really advise anybody to go into, you know, seeking help from mortgage bank in Nigeria when it comes to housing. There are a lot of hidden facts, hidden phrases that comes up. Who are you going to fight? Nobody. We are Nigerians. We all know how we do it. Even common car loan, you will see hidden things, and a lot of people get into trouble. So mortgage bank, I don't see into it. Yes, like is what I always shout. You don't have to have the whole money in the whole world to own a home. It's high time that you are working. Definitely, you should invest in getting your house. It's when there are places or there are people that come together, but the problem with Nigeria is that we abuse. It's been abused a lot. It's been abused so much that to believe anybody when it comes to releasing your money and looking at the thing getting it to the place where you want it is very dangerous in Nigeria. There are so many factors. So many factors. I can remember, I will, let me just say, Bank O C. I can remember then when it was managed by a woman, uh, there was this housing that was going on at that point in time. And it has to do with a lot of people's money, a lot. Everybody was so happy because it was something that people brought out, that a lot of people have to own their home. You have people in banks, you have young people that really invested, but along the line things went bad because there were mismanagement. It happened in a lot of Nigerians. I don't I'm sorry to say, yes, I'm one. But you see, the fact is that yes, I understand what you're trying to do. It's going to be difficult. I'm sorry, it's going to be, me, I'm always blunt. It's going to be difficult for me. I'm always blunt. It's going to be, that's why I always tell you in all my posts as let me not talk. Because I've started, I was into construction, into this mortgage, into this, people wanting to invest. I've seen a lot of people lose. And when it comes to documentation in Lagos State, Mowe, yes, a lot of people, as they benefited from Mowe. Yeah, I will not lie to you. I know, even to the extent that one of my carpenter benefited from, there are lucky people and there are people. So let me go into it. That's why I said why.
Yes.
That's why I said why
Yes.
dollars. For me, as I see dollars, I think you should compare the two. Yes, maybe one. There's no one that is stable. At the dollar, at the naira, could say it was stable no. So I don't see why you are telling me. Yes, it's an international market. You won't see. You are not in Nigeria. You won't go to another country. Another country won't be advertising something and be putting another currency. For me, it's a no-no. It's a no. You will
Yes.
never go
Yes.
to another country person. Anybody that is into building, because I have a few people like my uncle into building. They do all these buildings that I can't remember the name, that are not good again. They refurbish it and sell it. You will never see them put naira. You will never see them put anything. For me, when you want to talk to people, that has to be your audience. You are talking about Muwewe and you are talking about dollar. For me, it's a no-no. I'm blunt because that's why the first thing when I entered, the first thing I said $1. Of the thing, it takes me off. Without no, it takes me off because as I did so,
Yeah.
I know I will not. The only way I can know $20, I'm telling you, the only way I can know how much that amount of money is for me to pick up my phone and say how much is dollar today. It's not in my head.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. I totally understand you.
It's not in my
Yeah.
head. So the truth of the matter is that I will ask the first thing. I like when you say you can't show anything because you are still in documentation stage. I am
Yes.
happy. I'm so happy about that. Because a lot of people they are in that stage. I call them file number. It is not concrete yet. They are all in file number, and Lagos State is a very I don't want to talk. I always talk. It's somewhere that at a stage they will throw out your. So I'm so happy that you said you can't
Until it
talk
is
too much.
until it is
Yes,
done, it is not done.
yes. Because in Lagos State,
No.
don't talk until it is done. Don't. Don't even do that until it's done. Because let me just tell you something. Something happened in You know, waterfront banana. They came, they said, oh, this, that, they didn't get this. They closed everywhere down, they sealed it. You understand? They paid what they came again to say, after stealing and all of them gathering money to pay what they have to pay, they came again and say, they forgot, so there's one documentation. And it was serious stealing. I'm telling you that there's one documentation they need to do, and that is even more important than the last one they did. So, Lagos State, I'm so happy you're saying you can't say much now because documentation have to be, have to be. Then there's another thing that I'm going to point out. When you talk about, okay, documentation is one. So, what are you trying to give people? Are you trying to give people pay? There's a limit of pay. In Nigeria, I've never seen anybody giving more than 2 years. The highest they give is 2 years to pay. So are you giving long payments? Are you giving to finish? What are you giving? And when somebody say, don't go and bring back Fatai, Baba Fatai, ati contractor, ati Fatai, they fall in Tatooine. Most of them are graduates. They've graduates now. Oh. Baba Fatai now is
Some,
Richard. Oh. Baba Fatai now is Richard. So,
unfortunately, very right. I still fought. Please let me share this one true life story. Today on site, I still fought somebody. I said, get down from there. Who do you want to kill yourself? We provide PP. We spend in my company. We spend money on PP, and we give you PP. When you enter our site, you must wear PP. Do you know these people refuse to wear this thing, and they were climbing. They say, I said, come on, get down from here. Who do you want to kill? I mean, who do you want to cover? Who do you want to put in trouble? And this person, the owner of the company is a BSc or MSc woman. She's so spree. You would expect that she would tell her workers, and they're subcontractors. I said, don't worry, subcontractors will give them our PPE because it is we that own this site. So I'm just buttressing your point. You can go on. I just wanted to say that these are the things that happen.
Construction now we have everybody. Fatai is now Richard. Richard now is now incorporated. Richard now is now intertuned. They've because let me tell you something. To come to our company now, if you want to, like most companies, let me not say my company. If you want to come to our company, just package yourself where you don't receive the job. And it happens everywhere. When you are going for bidding, you are going for things. I know a lot of people that till today they don't lift a hand, but their company is doing fantastic well. And it's the Fatai and look more that they use.
Which means the quality is not likely to be controlled. There will be likely no quality control.
Why do you think we have less? When we don't have quality control officers, nobody is going for that course anymore. No, everybody just feel that have you not heard? It's everywhere. You plaster when you are doing block work. Don't worry, plastering will cover it. If plastering no cover, screeding will cover it. That's the word everywhere. So the truth of the matter is that construction is really, everybody because
It's complicated.
There's no work anywhere. There's no work anywhere. Me, the truth of the matter is that I learned a lot on the job. I've seen a lot on the job. Somebody leaves school today and he's already carrying, I'm a painter, I'm a plumber, I'm an electrician. And people don't know those plumbing, electrician. When you just said something now that, and somebody said because the wire is hidden. You've not entered a bedroom where when you enter you want to bath and something is shocking you. You don't know what is shocking you. So it's not because it's hidden. You build anyhow, you say anyhow. But let me now shock you is that why will you build bad? And it's just like Third Milan now. We are doing it every year, which for me is really the thing is who making me so annoyed. Because the truth of the matter is that you are building today and you are repairing tomorrow. What is the use? Why don't you spend your money right? Do the right thing from the beginning. When people come and say, I can do your foundation with 1 naira, you yourself, in everybody's life, foundation is the most important thing. Why don't you spend wise on it? See, what we say nature is very, very, is something that you can never go around it. It will come back and eat
Yeah.
you. But the truth of the matter is that yes, I'm happy you are doing your documentation. You need to do it right. You need everything to be, and truly, I tell people, and this is the truth. It's not all estate you invest in. You don't just say
No,
because
definitely not.
yeah, you know, just say, oh, that estate that like 10 people they've already built, nothing has happened to them. It's not all estate you invest in, because like you said, people are like you, like what you are doing now. People are already selling. They are selling out. The land is there now. What are you waiting for again? You understand? The land is there, so
Yes.
without documentation, you can just do. So, apart from documentation, what is, you can't really speak much right now. But I'll advise
Yeah,
that.
but I do have some answers to some of your
Yes,
questions, and
but like I'll
I'll
advise
definitely.
just do every, do every documentation for every. See, the truth of the matter is that once everybody gets their documents right, and everybody, when you are selling, you are giving, and it depends on the payment plan you have for some people. Some people at the end of the day, they get to the middle, they fail, you have to take it back. Man, Nigeria is just a difficult place to do business.
Yeah, yeah, I totally understand that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, madam. I really appreciate your cheering spirit. First of all, you are a very cheerful person, and well, I think I would say I know you, despite that we've not met yet, and I appreciate your cheerful spirit. In terms of, so I'll be answering this, and then we'll be wrapping up because
All
we want
right,
to
no
keep,
problem.
yeah, we want to keep it short. We want to keep it brief. So yes, first of all, like we said, our emphasis is on, we are working with Rainy Day Cooperative Society and in conjunction with other cooperative societies, which means whoever is going to pay would then come under the umbrella of cooperatives. So there is a legal structure, there is a system within which, and we've had back-to-back webinars for the last five. I think this is the fifth in the series or the fourth in the series now. I'm almost losing count. And we've definitely said that the primary thing is people are buying off plan, right? But people are buying off plan. That's the primary thing. However, it will be routed through the cooperative. So that also helps to structure it. That's the best I can say now. But like we said, we are not rushing. We are not in a hurry. We would gradually, take everyone along. We'll do all of the paperwork in the background, make sure that we are correct, because I don't want to come and someone will say, see this man called land inspector. Then somebody will claim he's the one that first of all saw my face, even though all my customers see my face on site every day, and they'll say, I saw him. He's the one that, no, I don't want bad stories. So we are following all due process, and when all of those things are done, then we lay it out. But primarily off plan and in conjunction with many cooperative societies, and of course. So it's not primarily mortgage. Mortgage was just an example that I gave. It was just an example because I do know some people who it has worked for. But just as you said, yeah, there are always complications doing business
Yeah,
in
because
Nigeria, and we pray
see,
we get it right.
sorry to say that off plan, the off plan, the off plan. Well, um, 2020, right? 2021 was still fine. You see, there is this, because off plan, there's always this, iron was like 500, 400, 200. I'm very sure when it comes to off plan, whatever you have given your people, that's what you have to stick with. Or is there a clause that, because, let me just use iron, and at 2020, iron was like 500, 400. Then all of a sudden, within 1 year, it became times four. I know, like, because the truth of the matter is
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
yeah. So the truth of the matter
yeah.
is
I get what you're saying.
because I'm just this is just one advice that I know people with off plan they don't really do. There should be a clause because for me, I cannot be working for someone and somewhere at the end of the day. I will tell you why I'm saying this. There's somebody that did off plan in 2021. He had collected whatever. I tell you, in 2022, he was fighting everybody so they can say, oh yeah, give me my money back, and he will gladly give them their money back because there was no clause that
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
fending for him. I see the guy almost lost it. He almost
Yeah,
lost.
I understand. I understand you. There will definitely be variation clause and more importantly, emphasis on speed. So we do have, like I said, there are a number of things, but we are taking this series by series. So next week we'll still talk about things. So while we're working in the background, we'll be sharing some of these things. So for example, you have to build fast and you have to do
I have to build fast.
certain things
Yeah,
precast and all of those things. So we are working on many things to ensure that those things, the variations do not catch us. But of course, at the same time, you also price for inflation,
yeah.
and you pray to God for for good luck, if you call it that. But I really appreciate you. I would get on. We'll keep in touch after off camera, as we call it. And another thing, somebody, the person you are talking about. Let's talk off camera. Let's not talk. I know some names. Some names came into my head as soon as you spoke. So, but let's talk off camera, as we call it. So thank you very much, Lady Builder. I
No,
really
no,
appreciate
I know
your.
you don't talk off camera with names. You they will not carry you. See that? You don't hold anybody's name. You bring it out.
No,
Are you?
no, not now.
What's your name? Your name now. Your name is
Yeah.
ah.
So
Hello, diverse funds and blame the economy.
yes, yes. Last I said let's talk off camera.
Money is
I will
money.
not
That's
mention
what money
names.
does. That's what money does.
Exactly.
That's what money does. Oh. I'm serious.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let
Exactly.
me quickly use it and come back. That quickly use is where you now enter inside water.
They will have smart investment ideas with other people's money,
Thank you very much.
and
Yes.
they say let's quickly go and invest in this and
Yes.
but anyway, may God grant us wisdom, and of course, more importantly, people should also, just as you said, don't rush into it. It's not every estate you invest in, and it's
No.
not everybody you invest in. So you do a lot of things before you do a lot of looking before you leap. So please, for everyone else who is here, please let's take note of this. It's very important. You look before you leap so that you don't enter difficult situations. Thank you very, very much, madam. Thank you to everyone. I appreciate your time. We will be having this session again next week, Friday. We'll be discussing how much do you think it will cost. Okay, please, I'd like you to send this via DM. How much it will cost to build a because there are a lot of factors to building a duplex. All I tell people is that you cannot build a house in Nigeria less than 30 million today. Anybody who would promise you that, well, I wish you and them luck. All right. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Have a wonderful evening. Catch you all next week, Friday.
Oh, bye.